I want to talk a little bit about the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security today. That's just going to go over those two positions and the agencies that they run. Homeland Security, they're very powerful agency with sort of broad range ability to police the whole United States. And in the past, there'd be no questions asked because people would be looking for someone specific. And now they can use the color of their skin, their accent, their job, where they're at, and who they're around to target them. The current Attorney General Pam Bondi and the current Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, are both corrupt. And they were long before Trump. So he offered them a license to do that on a federal scale, on a grander scale. The Department of Justice investigates criminal and civil crimes, but instead of old ideas like equality under the law and blind justice, a system of fairness, no favoritism or prejudice, the DOJ has now an agenda to punish and eliminate obstacles. People who speak out, protest, and make public statements are now an enemy. People who migrate here must be wealthy or valuable some other way, like an excuse to execute a police state that will intentionally threaten citizens. For these things to be possible, the heads of agency must be willing accomplices, and there needs to be an influx of money. The DOJ had a $44 billion budget in 2024, which is 0.6% of the total U.S. spending per year. The FBI spent $11 billion in 2024 and $0.9 billion on immigration. Under the Big Beautiful Bill, the ICE has now $45 billion to spend over 4 years just for detaining migrants. $170 billion can be spent more broadly on immigration and national security and border management. So that's 20 years of funding will now be spent over 4 years, and this increase will add $3.3 trillion to our deficit. Kristi Noem, who is the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, she's 54 now. She was married at 21. Her dad left her the farm at 23 as he passed away. Farming accident. She worked the farm until 2007 when she was elected to state Congress at 36. She was elected with 39% of the vote. She was elected to U.S. Congress at 40 years old in 2010. And she was there for 8 years. She was used as a spokesperson or campaigner in the committees, which is a lot like what she's doing now, what she did as governor and what she is doing now at DHS. She was elected governor in 2019 at 49 years old. During that time, she wrote 2 autobiographies 2 years apart, and she seems to be mostly known for her statements about killing her dog for being a dog and for killing her goat for being smelly. She is known for, politically, her stances. She's anti-trans, anti-abortion, anti-climate change, anti-estate tax. She's anti-child care and meal subsidies. She's anti-STEM embryonic cell research, anti-Affordable Care Act, anti-same-sex marriage, anti-EPA standards, overall anti-corporate regulation, but she's pro-regulation on citizens. She's anti-concealed carry needing a permit. She is pro-gun. She tried to open a state gun range. She tried to have federal money purchase land and run a gun range. She's pro-religious discrimination, pro-prayer in schools. She tried to write it. She introduced a bill for prayer in schools, and it did not pass. She's pro-offshore drilling, pro-Keystone Pipeline, so much so that she used state funds to hire a firm to crack down on protesters, which put her in hot water with the Pine Ridge Reservation, who banned her. And then she went on to make disparaging comments, derogatory comments about tribes. She said tribes benefit from the cartels coming over the border, and reservation kids have no hope, and parents don't show up and help them. So 9 tribes, which represents 20% of South Dakota land, banned her. She has since apologized just this year. And so some other things she did was she funneled $80,000 from a nonprofit called American Rescue Policy Fund into her own company, into her own bank accounts. She is pro-Muslim ban. She was pro the 2017 Muslim ban. She's pro-lowering corporate tax rate. Some other controversies. There was a South Dakota real estate appraiser certificate program worker who had been working that job for 30 years. She called her in to harass her because her daughter did not pass her board, her state certification test. And so Nome, called her in, harassed her, and that woman, Sherry Bren, told on her. And then Nome paid her $200,000 for non-disclosure agreement for using her position as governor to benefit her daughter, Cassidy. And the Republican there in South Dakota created a law addressing her behavior. His name's John Mills. John Mills said that her behavior was inappropriate. She also spent $400,000 on a governor's mansion fence, $68,000 on a rug from India, chandeliers, and a sauna. She spent $449,000 on anti-drug campaign, anti-meth campaign, that she ended up profiting from, and that goes to her current way of grifting. So when a company wants to do a job for the government, they put a public bid. The government says they need this job, and companies come and offer the job done at a certain rate. And that bid is supposed to have nonpartisan people looking at it to see if it's the best bid, the best amount to pay, and the best company to go with. And she has made repeated interference to these bids being done, so she doesn't allow for public bids. She knows the company she wants to go with, and she pushes for them. She did that as governor. She has many ad campaigns as governor, and she's now doing that at DHS, where she is using a company called Strategy Group, who is owned by Tricia McLaughlin, who is the DHS spokesperson. Her husband, Ben Yoho, is the owner of Strategy Group. So there's reporting that behind the scenes, Nome was pushing for Strategy Group to get the bid for the advertisement that went out during the government shutdown. This most recent one, the longest in history, she did an advertisement where she was seen riding a horse, and to over $200 million, and Nome profited from that. Millions of dollars that she got for that campaign. One of the things that she said also in that notorious book, she said that she dreamed of being president in 2025, and that she would shoot Biden's dog, Commander. There's reporting that she has been having an affair with a man named Corey Lewandowski, and that is bringing unwanted drama to the White House, and she has denied it. He has denied it. They are both married to other people. As I said, she's been married for a long time and has 3 children. And so it is possible that they replace her. So while she's trying to punish animals for being animals and limit the freedom of expression and push religion in schools and public businesses, discriminating based on religion. She's having a multi-year affair with Corey Lewandowski, and she's stealing taxpayer money to grift, just like Trump. So now I'm going to talk about Pam Bondi, who is 60 years old. She got her bachelor's at 22, her JD at 25. She's 25. She got her Florida bar license at 26. In 2010, she was 45. She became AG of Florida. She was reelected in 2014 at 49. So her controversies. In 2011, she pressured two attorneys who were investigating the lender processing services that robo-signed documents for mortgages, which was a huge scandal. She ended that. She, in 2013, asked Rick Scott to postpone an execution because of a fundraising conflict. In 2013, Trump donated to her political action committee $25,000 to get her to not sign the lawsuit that had been opened by other people going after Trump University tax fraud. The IRS found that he broke the law and made him pay a fine for that donation. She is anti-same-sex marriage. She, in 2019, became a lobbyist for Ballard Partners, which is the largest U.S. firm after only 8 years in existence. They have lobbyists like Susie Wiles, who's Trump's chief of staff, and Wexler, Epstein-Wexler, has been all over the files, and many companies like Palantir and ByteDance and United Health. Governments like Qatar, who she was a registered foreign agent for. Is she still a foreign agent? She joined Trump's defense team at his impeachment trial in 2020. She talked crap about Hunter and election fraud and Burisma and Ukraine BS. Same stuff as MAGA's been pushing for a long time, because they don't understand the nuance of it. In 2024, she led America First Party Institute. So it sounds like she met Trump and was all on board. When she came into office, she was second chosen for U.S. Attorney General. She was second to Matt Gaetz, who is a pedophile. And so her scandals since being confirmed as Attorney General, she said she would not go after Trump's enemies at the confirmation hearing, and now she has opened cases against James Comey, Letitia James, John Brennan, and John Bolton. So she lied. During the push for the Epstein case file, she said there is no list, and yet in the file there have been at least 10 people they called 10 co-conspirators. There are FBI notes and documents that say there are co-conspirators, and they were investigated. And so saying there's no list, that's not true. She made up fentanyl numbers. She said there was, in 100 days, they saved 21 million lives, and then 2 days later, she said 119 million lives, and then within that same week, she said 3,400 kilos was seized, and 258 million lives were saved. So just making stuff up. She held a task force on anti-Christian bias. So she ended FBI foreign task force for klepto capture. She ended foreign task force for task force for Foreign Agent Registration Act enforcement. So she is ending task force for regulating really important things, one of which foreign agents is what she is, and yet she's creating task force for religious bias, which I don't even know what that means. Because she says Christian bias, I'm thinking she's the one that's bias. So she's not protecting other religions. I mean, that's a guess, but probably a pretty good one. During the Liberation Day, when Trump started tariffs, she sold her Trump media shares for $1 million. Her brother is also an attorney. She tried to install him at the DC bar, and that didn't work, and that's a really good thing. But she tried to use her position to do that. And you know what? She also has a really shitty dog story, like Kristi Noem. After Katrina, a lot of people who lost their homes also lost their pets. And so this family's pet dog ended up in the Humane Society shelter, and Bondi, I guess, adopted the dog, which is noble, good for her. But then the owners found out that she had their dog and tried to get the dog back, and they went through over a year of fighting her to get their dog back from her. What kind of person does something like that? So along with her grifting, getting money and not claiming it, and canceling good investigations and good task force, and trying to go after what she cares about, what she is being told to go after, and not just blanket law enforcement, she is picking and choosing. And this goes to the broader problem with the DOJ, who oversees all of these different agencies and keeping the criminals, people, and entities who commit crimes, like corporations, churches, governments, and other law enforcers, police, and politicians. She is not going after them in the same regard. She is picking and choosing. And so this goes to bad pardons, pardoning people who have not even served any kind of penalty, time in prison, or paid their fines. You know, this goes to the political types of prosecutions, where she's going after people that have said negative things about Trump. She's going after them. And then she's also incompetent because she comes up with fake fentanyl numbers, the release of the Department of Justice Epstein file, the slow trickle of information, and the way that it's come out. And people have talked about being able to unredact and to go beyond the files that are on the website just by going into the URL and adding making a 7 and 2 and 8 different batches, and being able to access those without clicking next within the website, the DOJ website. It sounds like incompetence. It sounds like, I mean, it is, because they left victims' names unredacted, and yet they have redacted flight logs and boat passenger lists and just everything to do with men from the neck down. That's it. That's all you're seeing. You're seeing no faces. The 10 co-conspirators that the FBI was looking into, they named one in there, but I mean, Massey also talked about 19 people. So, I mean, she has a list. She has information. She is holding it back, or she is trying to put it all out there in a way that makes it hard to delineate what is what. It's intentional. So these two women, Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi, are grifters before Trump. They are cheats and scam artists, and they have a history of that before him, and they are doing that more now. And they are two of the most important law enforcers and policers in our country. One is responsible for immigration policing, which is increasingly policing Americans, and then the Department of Justice, who is supposed to be going after lawbreakers. And when the lawbreakers are within, what do? Who is there to make sure that citizens who are not breaking the law, migrants who are not breaking the law, are not mistreated? And it's just very scary times when these are the people who are in charge.